How are decisions made? Can they be altered by anyone using simple tricks? Yes, absolutely. Almost everything we can sense can influence our ability to make decisions. Psychologists are learning how our actions can be influenced in ways that we don't realize, and these could be a wide array of things. Each small persuasion has the ability to create a big impact on us. It's not the same as manipulation. It's mostly done with positive thought in mind to show someone your perspective and hopefully getting them to choose to agree with you. Persuasion is not forceful, deceptive, or harmful. Before we move on to the video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and also press on the bell icon for more updates. Number 1. Getting information through silence. We know people that do not reveal most of the things we would like them to do. They may have difficulty in opening up. Perhaps they tend to withhold information. It could be because they may be worried about coming across any negative comments. Whatever the reason might be, there's a way around it. When talking to this person, ask the question you want to ask. If they don't reply, don't leave it there or try to ask again. Instead, stay completely silent. Keep eye contact with them and stay quiet. After some time, the person will automatically feel compelled to elaborate, as it seems like you're waiting on or expecting more information. Number 2. Frame requests to sound like chores. When you ask a person whether they either want to not do something or do something, you're giving them an easy way out of the situation. So instead of saying that, use this trick to get them to agree to your way. For example, if you're trying to ask them to do some chores, don't ask them if they want to do it. Ask if they would rather sweep the floor or do the dishes. By framing the questions you're willing to ask this way, you're putting it into the listener's mind that they get to pick what they do. They would be happier with having to do something that is unpleasant and take it positively. Number 3. Find out who keeps an eye on you. Have you ever felt like someone's watching you from behind? Sometimes you might think someone has an eye on you, but you can't be sure. After all, you don't want to assume, and asking it directly would put you both in an awkward position. There's a simple solution to this. All you have to do is yawn, such that the person notices it. You could just fake it as well. Make sure the person you're testing can see you easily. If they have an eye on you, they'll yawn shortly after. Yawning is contagious. If you see someone yawning, you would also feel the urge to do the same. This is one of the psychological tricks that works so great that sometimes just reading the word yawn makes you want to yawn. Number 4. Make someone like you. Do you have a feeling that someone you spend a good amount of time with actually dislikes you? Don't worry, there's a way to fix that. All you need to do is follow these steps. Ask them for something small. It has to be something that would not make any sense for the person to say no to. As an example, you might ask to borrow a pen or a book from the person, or asking the date or time. Why does this work? It's simple. Although the person dislikes you, they realize that saying no to something this small would make them look like a bad person. Furthermore, small favors in general are hard for most people to say no to. Number 5. Control how fast you speak. In a fascinating study done by the University of Michigan, the researchers have found that the speech rate when talking to a person was important, and mostly that's ignored. Pitch, speech rate, and fluency were all measured in telephonic interviews, where they were trying to persuade people to take part in a survey. The ideal speed of speech was about 4 words per second, which is somewhat fast. Also, during the interview, the people who took 4 to 5 pauses every minute were more successful. Speaking too fast would be perceived as being suspicious, and speaking too slowly gives away the impression of being less intelligent or unattentive. But speaking too fast can be hard for the other person to follow and understand. If they notice you as having these traits, they're more likely to support you and be on your side, even if they don't realize exactly why you appeal to them. Number 6. Use repetitions. Have you ever hated a song at first, but then you started to like it after hearing it a few more times? The human brain loves patterns and repetitions, so when we're exposed to an idea repeatedly, we could accept it or come to like it more easily than the first time we heard it. So a point to note down during your interviews or meeting next time is to use more words repeatedly. For example, if you're pitching an idea to an investor, try to include more terms related to its advantages and repeat telling about it throughout the argument. They may not realize that they heard the same thing more than once, but their mind will take notice and start storing the memory in its subconscious side. But there is a downside to it, as the same thing repeated multiple times could create an opposite effect and leave the person more resistant to it. Number 7. Have the right body language. Your body language speaks a lot like your words. Similar to speaking quickly, the people you're talking to may notice your posture and stance and the way you talk to them. They may not feel anything consciously, but their subconscious mind begins to notice these small changes and influence their opinion in a subtle way. Stand up with a straight posture, keeping your shoulders back and relaxed. You should not look down on the floor or move your legs while talking to a person. Instead, try to maintain a steady eye contact. Looking confident tells people, non-verbally, that you know what you're doing, and it'll leave an impression that makes people want to support you in your mission and makes them likely to take you seriously in an argument. Number 8. Use ultimate terms. Some words are more persuasive than others. Such words can be included in your conversations. They tend to be positive and attractive. For example, using words like guarantee and proven or dangerous and risky can express more than what they mean. Then there are charismatic terms, which are a bit trickier. Words like freedom or progress are fairly abstract but appealing. They prompt specific reasons, as we've been trained to perceive the words in a certain way. You could use these words to attract and draw someone in or make an alternative option seem not worthy. Number 9. The power of touch. The power of touch has been a major topic for studies. It's been proved to persuade and influence people in both the workplace and relationships. These research studies show that shoppers who were touched, who spent more time in the store, have bought more. Again, time has shown that the power of touch has made people happier and has a powerful healing effect. While it's powerful, there are certain religious and cultural implications. It can be misunderstood for intrusion of personal space as well. Works best if you want to convince someone. It's not that hard of you to know how to do it. The use of subtle and off-the-cuff remarks instead of basic flattery is a skill you need to have. As an example, instead of telling your boss how good his tie is, try something that doesn't make him think that you're buttering him up, like ask for an extra hour for lunch. Number 10. Use flattery. Also known as buttering, it works best if you want to convince someone. It's not that hard of you to know how to do it. The use of subtle and off-the-cuff remarks instead of basic flattery is a skill you need to have. As an example, instead of telling your boss how good his tie is, try something that doesn't make him think that you're buttering him up, like offering to help do something extra during your lunch, or maybe staying after work a little bit later to help with some other things that the office might need help catching up with. Things like that will help you get further than just basic off-the-cuff buttering up. There are two kinds of people. If you try to flatter someone who thinks highly of themselves, the chances are more likely that you're validating the conception of their view of themselves. But if you try to flatter a person with low self-esteem, it might not work, as they could not relate to what they feel about themselves. Now with that, we've come to the end of this video. What do you think of these tips? Is there anything you want to add to the list? Let us know your suggestions in the comments section below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. We'll meet again soon with another video. Until then, take care.